and it has all the applications you have installed on your phone, and you don't actually have to have them blizzarded, all over your home screens.
Blizzarded? Is that a word? Blizzarded, like a blizzard of snow?
What up, my techies and gamers? It's your boy Jermaine, back with another new video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the top 5 new iOS 14 features that I found that were the most frequently used, at least by myself, and I think that most people will use just in general. So let's go ahead and take a look. And before we get started, I'm just going to need you to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so that way I pop up in your face when a new video is released. So there is a couple of reasons why I chose these top 5 features as the most important, I think, as well as the most frequently used. And that is because it is something that you will see on a normal basis when you open your phone, when you unlock it, when you look at your home screen, when you get a phone call, when you get a FaceTime call, and when you do other little small interactions with your phone, which is something that in general that most people will use. Let's go ahead and go over the first of the top 5, right? So for number 1, it is, that's right, widgets. The brand new, well, widgets are not brand new. Widgets has been around with Android for quite some years, maybe 10 years or so definitely not something new, but it is something different when Apple tends to put it out, mainly because of the way they market it, more or less, right? Their marketing is just different on a whole other level from other companies, other mobile device manufacturers, other operating system manufacturers. But as of right now, I find it to be a relatively big thing, as we no longer have to actually stare at our rows and rows of apps and folders on our home screens, right? Stacks and stacks of icons going from left to right, and folders, page after page after page after page. Now, we can actually make this a lot more aesthetically pleasing to the normal eye as soon as you unlock your phone. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, the cool thing about widgets, as widgets are supposed to do, is the level of functionality which it adds to your phone, right? Functionality and convenience of functionality. So here on our home screen, we see I have just a few widgets, right? I'm not gonna really have to go crazy on this. It doesn't really need to have a lot of widget colors and things of that nature to be aesthetically pleasing as well as functional. But as you can see here, I do have different size widgets, right? And we'll get into how we can create different size widgets. But first, let's look at how we can actually create a widget in the first place. So the way we can create widgets is by pressing and holding any empty space on your home screen. It can be on any page as well. So you hold that space, and when you hold it, you go into wiggle-jiggle mode, right? You'll see that you have a plus sign up in the top left corner, and that's where you go ahead into your widget features or widget application. It's not really an application in itself on the phone itself, but it is a feature. So you can click the plus sign, you can get into the options and settings for widgets, and in here you'll see a bunch of different types of widgets you can add to your home screen, different sizes, different applications, etc., different kinds of features. So one feature which I'll just cover and get out the way right off the bat is the Smart Stack. So if you select Smart Stack, it basically is going to go and create a smart stack based on the applications you most frequently use, right? So if I selected, let's say I'm just going to add this really small one here, add it to my home screen, that's fine. So you'll see there's a lot of different, that's my cat. Hi CJ, how you doing? You'll swipe through it and you'll see that it uses all of the apps that you most frequently access. This can and will change based on your application usage. So I tend to not use smart stacks. Instead, what I do alternatively is I create my own stack, right? So let's go back into wiggle-jiggle-biggle-viggle-mode. Let's go into the applications, and here you can see how you can create multiple widgets, right? So just for the fun of it, let's just go ahead and create a clock widget, right? And when you go into select a widget, you'll see that you have alternate options to create widget in different sizes, right? One, you'll just have one clock face. Here you have 4, and it's kind of like a little bit of a bigger square. And then here you have the large world clock widget. Let's see how large that actually comes up if we add it. So this is actually not the largest size widget you can get, but for the clock widget, it is. So, and it creates this kind of elongated banner style widget, right? Let's remove that and let's add another widget. So I want to show you how it looks when you add a very large widget. So let's go ahead and click calendar. Even though I have a calendar, I'm going to add it here anyway. And as you can see here, we can create a large comprehensive widget. Go ahead and add that. And as you can see here on the home screen, it takes up quite basically half your iPhone screen to show that widget. And it's not a smart stack, so I can't swipe up and down. I don't have anything stacked on it to create multiple stacks, but I'll show you how that's done in a second. But it's cool because if you wanted to have a clean look, this could be my home screen. So if my phone was in a lock mode, in lock position, and I unlock it, swipe up, and I unlock it, swipe up, we will see that my home screen is not a blundering cascade of applications and folders. I have 3 widgets large and displayed on my home screen. And if I wanted to get to other apps, I can actually have other apps on other home screen pages. But just to give you a view of what it looks like with a large app, now if I wanted to create a specific stack of apps, let's say like I have these 2 separated, only because I like to see them separate, but I can actually go into wiggle-jiggle-viggle-biggle mode, hit the plus sign, and we'll add, let's see, let's just go ahead and add a, I don't know, let's add a Safari. Oh, this is the Siri suggestions. So if you notice, this is the other one where you can have Siri suggest the most frequently used apps, and this will change as well, the app icons, based on which apps you use most frequently and most recently. So I didn't use Siri suggestions. It might work for some people it might not. Right? If it was a singular widget, I can actually take that and now I can drag it and drop it, and it becomes a stack of widgets that I manually created that I use more often, as opposed to creating a smart stack that may or may not pull up the applications that I use most frequently and the most recently. And that's cool. You can kind of arrange them in a nice, I guess, however is aesthetically pleasing to you. I can have like an L shape, the weather at the bottom. I can actually take that, switch it, put it towards the top, and it can be like a, I don't know, what shape is that? It's not even a T, I don't know. Another cool feature about widgets is that you can actually have them added to your quick access page, which is over on your left side of your iPhone. So if you swipe over to your left, you see you have other kinds of sorts of widgets running here. You can actually add these to this page in a simple fashion, right? So if it's on your home screen, you can just tap, hold, go into wiggle mode, right? Edit home screen, and we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna drag him over to our left screen, and we can have it here at the top left. So if we just wanted to have weather off the home screen, we can actually just swipe over, see the weather, and be done with it, right? But me, weather's important, living up here in Carmel, so we're gonna have that right there because I need to know when I'm gonna get blasted with a hurricane or a storm. So, and the other most important thing about the widgets is that it's just aesthetically pleasing, right? You unlock your screen, you see this is what you see when you first see it. Awesome, right? Instead of seeing rows of icons, you see some colorful widgets. And if you really wanted to get fancy, there are third-party options in the App Store, right? So if we go to the App Store, we can actually search, and let's type in the word widget, right? Well, first we have to know how to spell before we type widget, and then we can type it widget, right? And as you type, you see one of the most popular ones is Widgetsmith. This is a cool app. I did tinker around with it a little bit. I did like a lot of the features. There are quite a few things you can do in this app to make it look very aesthetically pleasing to your eye, however that is to you. But you can actually customize each individual icon with a photograph, with a colored theme, and various other options. As you can see here, they've actually were able to customize the weather app, which is kind of cool, right? You can make it any color you pretty much want. I believe you can even adjust that with a specific photograph you have on your iPhone and customize it that way. So there's a lot of customization with Widgetsmith. The only thing I would say about Widgetsmith is that you get to a point where you get limited, right? It's a app with in-app purchases, and to get some of the more premium features of this app, you got to pay, right? Like a lot of other apps. So just something to keep in mind keep in mind if you want to go third-party route. And I think that's pretty much with all other apps as well. I tried color widgets. This is kind of cool, though very limited. You can only actually customize date and time widgets. So, and you can pretty much, add a photo. You can change it to any color theme you want. And then even some of those you have to pay to unlock. So again, application with in-app purchases. So you can go this route if you choose, but me, I'm a man of simple taste. I like to keep it simple and just keep it moving as is. And number 2 on my top 5 is the new home screen features added in iOS 14. Now with these new home screen features, there's quite a few things you can do. And I think the most important is, it goes right along with your widget creations and setting up of your home screen, is you're able to now organize somewhat how and where you want to place your to a limited degree, your app icons and your folders, and how much of it you actually want to show. So as you can see here, I just have this home screen with just 3 widgets and some apps here that I frequently access, along with some folders with other apps. Then I have some other folders that I access every so often, but not so much. And then that's it. I just have these 2 as my home screen. Now, if you want to be able to edit your home screen, to clean up some applications, to even hide some pages of your home screen that are just like swimming with applications and folders, there's a cool little feature where you can actually do that. So that update and that new feature in iOS 14 is the home screen editor. So if I hold onto any empty space on the home screen, it goes into wiggle mode. And then if I click on this little icon here that you see with the 3 ellipses, I'll do that again. See these 3 ellipses here, I click on that, and it goes into editing your home screen pages, right? So as you can see here, I actually have one already hidden, and that has a bunch of other folders and applications that I hid because I don't really access them as much. But I'm gonna bring it back into play so we can take a look at what it looks like. So now with all my home screens checked, now I have 3 home screens. I have the main page, second page, and there was that 3rd page where I had hidden, right? So it was a bunch of folders and applications that I don't use often, so I went ahead and hid it. So you can organize your home screens in that way, which is actually quite cool, to keep it nice and clean and tidy. And it feels good to be able to like see that you're, who doesn't like organization, right? To have your applications and folders organized. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that again. I'm gonna hide that, and then we're gonna go ahead and click done and swipe up to cancel wiggle mode, and there you have it. Home screen, secondary screen, clean, mostly. The other new added feature to home screen is the apps library, right? This is kind of not a home screen, but it's a library off to the right of your home screen. And in your apps library it's exactly that. It's a library that houses all of your apps, and it's basically the same thing as what Android has, called the app drawer, and it has all the applications you have installed on your phone, and you don't actually have to have them blizzarded, all over your home screens.
Blizzarded? Is that a word? Blizzarded, like a blizzard of snow?
And what Apple has done here, it seems, is that they've categorized the application types for you, and they've labeled each section and location with the type of application it is. So if it was recently added, if you recently downloaded it, it'll just come here. You can set it so it downloads directly to your app library and not download and show the icon on your home screen, which is a great added feature. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But you can see here they're all categorized according to the type of application they are. So here we have utilities, and if you notice that in some of these categories, we see that the applications are different sizes. We have 3 large ones, and then we have some smaller ones here in the corner. So basically what that's showing is that there's more than 4 applications, and if you wanted to really open this folder up to show the list of applications, and the way to do that, it's kind of a tricky thing. It's not anything intuitive. You would have to actually click on it and to see how it works. So if you click on the small icons in any of these folders that have small icons, it'll open up the entire library of the applications within that folder, right? And if you swipe up, it'll just go right back to the app library view. However, if you click on one of the larger ones, that immediately takes you to the application. So that's kind of a cool feature. And just like anything else, you can search your app library for applications, either by selecting this app library search bar, or you can just pull down and do a quick search the same way you would do on your home screen. So kind of a cool feature to have. I don't access this that much as I have a lot of the things that I use on my home screen, and every now and then I'll come here. If I recently downloaded, I want to get to it, I access it in the recently downloaded folders, and I'll show you how that's done right now. So if you download an application, right? If you go to the App Store, and let's say, oh, they have Among Us. Let's try that. Let's get. And we're gonna get Among Us. It's free with in-app purchases. Let's do it. Why not? There we go. Among Us. So right now we're downloading a game. I don't even actually know what the size, oh, well, the size is very small. So now that it's downloaded, let's go ahead and go back to the home screen, and you'll see that it's nowhere to be found on my home screen. Instead, you will see it in my recently added applications folders, right? So kind of cool. And the way you can set that, I believe now it's set by default on iOS 14. Once you update, it's going to set it to that feature where it downloads your app library off to the side. But if you wanted to have your applications get downloaded to your home screen, all you have to do is go over to home screen, general, home screen, and newly downloaded apps right here at the top. And you can either check to have it added to your home screen if you want to access it immediately, and if you like your home screen to be the place to access apps you just download, or you can just have it dumped into your app library, which is the way I prefer. And in the home screen options, you can also choose to have the notification numbers, those little red 1, 2, 3, 5,000 notifications to show that you have notifications for your apps. I leave it on just because I do access that and use it for email and other applications. So there you have it. App directly to app library. So number 3 on my top 5 is the new incoming call interface feature. So basically now what you have is when someone is calling your phone, instead of actually hogging up and taking up your entire home screen, showing you,
Hey, my mom is calling me.
And I want my own entire home screen to show me that. So now what we have instead is a very clean and flush, oh hey, my wife is calling me, and it's up at the top, but I can't answer it right now because I'm busy downloading applications and playing games. So I'm gonna swipe that up. Now what's cool about that is when you do swipe it up, it does go up in the corner, it continues ringing, and it's very out of view, and it doesn't obstruct what you're doing, so you can still access your applications, and it's not kicking you out of anything you're doing on your home screen. So we'll go here and we'll just hang up on her right now because, oh, I was calling on her behalf. Busted. So basically this has made my top 5 because this is something that everyone is pretty much going to use, and it's a feature that everyone will see while they're interacting with their phone, right? You're getting a phone call, you're doing something important on your phone, you're about to upload, I don't know, let's say like me, upload a YouTube video, and boom, you get a phone call, and it knocks you right out of your application because the call takes up the entirety of your whole screen. So not anymore. Now it'll just pop up on the top and you'll see it come up and you go, okay, cool. You can choose to accept it or just swipe it over and go to the top and continue doing what you're doing. Maybe it'll take a couple seconds and you can come back and then you can answer the call, right? So very cool. And this makes segue into my next feature, which is the FaceTime functionality, FaceTime incoming calls, right? So essentially, just like your incoming phone calls, FaceTime has incorporated the very new feature as well. So if you're getting a FaceTime call coming in, you'll see that it pops up as a banner at the top, and likewise, you can choose to swipe it away. It'll continue to ring up in the top left, and you can select this. Then it'll populate your entire screen, and then you can choose to accept. And you can be a cool kid like me and just call yourself and talk to yourself, because who doesn't like to do that? What? And along with that fantastic call banner style notification feature, you also have a way to actually have FaceTime video in video. I don't know why this is not actually a video, but it's video overlay kind of functionality on your home screen. So if you wanted to actually access your home screen to kind of share something with someone that you're talking about with in FaceTime, you can actually go here and access the internet or whatever applications and continue to keep doing what you're doing. And you can just simply slide this around to move it out your way if it's kind of like blocking the application. And you have full access to your phone using FaceTime, right? You can actually double click the picture here as well and make the picture bigger in case your vision is not that great and you want to get a closer view. And if it's in your way and it's impeding something you're doing at the time, you can actually swipe it to the side and have it here hovering on the left side as a little tag, a little arrow, and you can essentially slide it to any side you want. However, the only downside to that is now that once you go into sliding into that mode, you're putting the person on the call on pause. So now they can no longer see your video feed. Just one thing to take note of. But then once you pop it back out, now they can continue to see your video feed and you can see theirs as well. So very cool. And then you can click that and go right back into full screen mode with video, and there you have it. So for the feature to be able to toggle your phone and your FaceTime to be between a banner incoming call view and a full screen view, is quite easily accessed. You can just go into your settings. For phone calls, you can just scroll down and look for your phone, select the phone app, right? And then you have incoming calls. So here is where you can actually modify whether you want it to be full screen or banner style. I wouldn't imagine anyone who would want to go back to full screen now that we have this option. So with the update, it's going to default right back. It's going to default to the banner style. So, and last but not least of my top 5 choices for best iOS 14 features, or top 5 most probably frequently used. This could be up for debate. And that number 5 is the backtap gesture. So now iOS 14 introduces a new backtap feature where you can introduce gestures to do specific functions. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So if we go into settings, right, you'll find the feature here. You go into settings and you go to accessibility, scroll down, go to accessibility, and then the feature is a back tap, essentially tapping your phone on the back. That would be a touch feature. And if you scroll down under accessibility and touch, you will see back tap at the bottom. Let's select that. You have a double tap feature as well as a triple tap feature. So let's go ahead and look at what we have, or what I have is, and I have screenshot and I have control center. So I selected screenshot as my double tap feature, but if you get into the settings here, you'll see there's a host of other system settings, and there's accessibility settings, scroll gestures, shortcuts you can actually create for that gesture. So let's go ahead and see how that works. So basically, we'll just have the phone in our hands in a natural fashion, right? And then what we'll do is we'll double tap and say, oh, cool. I want to get this thing here, right? And I'm searching for it on the internet, and I double tap and I create a screenshot. How awesome is that, right? Double tap, right? Screenshot. And now if I triple tap, I have that as my control center. And I go 1, 2, 3, and it'll kick me right back out of the control center without having to actually stretch my thumb way up to the top, which is kind of cumbersome, right? Sometimes I have the very large phone, so if I just sometimes have a difficult time stretching my thumb without sliding the phone down a little bit, which kind of makes it, more likely to drop. So cool feature to have. I think that would be something that a lot of people will in fact use, the tap feature. So, but you guys let me know if that's reaches your top 5 of features used in iOS 14. It's definitely mine, as I do a lot of screenshotting and checking of my control center to change my Wi-Fi and the screen brightness and that sort of thing. So there you have it. All right, techies and gamers, there you have it. My top 5 features most frequently used by myself. And if you find that any of these features are frequently used by yourself as well, go ahead and leave the notice in the comments. Let me know if there's another feature here that you actually kind of use more frequently than any of these 5 with iOS 14. I'm curious to know, but these are kind of like unavoidable. You have your widgets, you have your phone and FaceTime, incoming calls. You can't avoid those. Maybe the back tapping on the screen, that is just something is added. So, all right, techies and gamers, you've been in tune with Tech, Toys, and Gaming with Jermaine. I hope you like this content. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell notification so that way you know when I release my new video and I pop up in your face. And if you want, you can let one of these Goombas know as well. Looking forward to see you in my next video, and stay techie and stay young. Play games, but not too many. You gotta take care of business too. So have a good one.